Good evening. How are you diddling? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. Welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused, your 3 times a week live show where I answer your social media and video questions. Lived episode. It's not going to be a long one tonight. For the main reason being is that we have a screaming toddler who is completely hyperactive tonight, and also my Wi-Fi signal's not really wanting to play ball this evening either. So we'll see how long we last. I don't know how long it's going to keep going for. Anyway, so how are you tonight? Hopefully you are well. And we are in the build up to Halloween, and that's what we're going to talk about this evening very briefly. Also going to answer your questions as always on social media and video. If you've got any questions you want to ask, stick them into the comments, whatever platform you're watching on, be it Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and wherever you're watching, stick your questions into the comments. If the stream and the flakiness is really, really bad tonight, we'll stop the stream. We'll come back again on Wednesday and we'll answer your questions then instead. So don't worry. We will get around to your questions if you've got anything you want me to ask. Anyway, first things first, who am I to tell you anything? I'm Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios. We're an award-winning visual marketing agency, and we help brands and businesses create content that helps them stand out on social media, be it video, animation, aerial work, all that kind of great stuff that will really make you look different on social media. However, a few years ago, it became very obvious to me that not every brand, not every business necessarily had the money to create content on a regular basis. But we all know social media is about being consistent. So what could you do to create consistent content for social media that meant you could be talking to people on a regular basis, but it wouldn't cost you anything? I sat down, I came up with a process. I called it How to 9 Times Your Social Media. I turned it into a book. It went to #1. You can still download it now. I think it's like 99p on the link in the section below. And basically you can get yourself that copy and it'll take you through from everything that is marketing planning through to podcasting and all the other stuff that is ideal to be doing in between as well. Now, that's what these live broadcasts are all about as well. We've been going live since the start of lockdown. At the start, we were going 7 days a week. We did that for like 10 weeks. Then since then, I've been going 3 times a week, giving you as much advice and answering as many questions as I possibly can to try and help you out as best as I can. So fingers crossed, you've had some value out of this content up to now. So we're going to talk about it. This weekend, Halloween, it's almost here. This Saturday, one of the biggest holidays of the year. It's not even a holiday in the UK. I don't know what it's like in America, but in the UK, you don't get any time off for it or anything like that. You don't leave school early. And in fact, until maybe like the last 10 years or so, it wasn't even that big a holiday. People did it. People kind of, I'd say, celebrated it, but not even really celebrated it. People just took part in it, but it wasn't as big as it was in America. And then over the last 10 years, it's kind of exploded in the UK, gone absolutely crazy. People get dressed up, obviously. People hold parties. People dress up their houses like they do in America. It's got a lot bigger. But it's one of those holidays that is, as a brand and as a business, you kind of need to be creating content for. Now, I've had this conversation in the past with a few different companies, different brands who are like, well, I don't celebrate Halloween. I don't believe in it. It's not my thing. And that's absolutely fine. It's great to have that opinion. And let's be honest, not everybody celebrates Christmas. It's a holiday season because there's lots of different holidays are celebrated around that period of time. We're coming up to Diwali very soon, the Festival of Lights. We've got Hanukkah, obviously, through December. You've got Christmas. You've got different Christmas dates through the year in different countries, all that kind of stuff. So people celebrate things at different times, but holidays, they are a big thing in the calendar and you have to talk about them. So whether you celebrate that particular holiday or not, doesn't matter. Your business doesn't care. And social media really doesn't care that you don't celebrate that holiday. You have to be creating content for those different events that are happening through the year because you don't want to alienate a section of the planet. There are people who will consume your content and could well be Jewish. And if you don't talk about the fact that it's Hanukkah, even just once, then they might not want to consume your content anymore. Just the same as people who want to buy products over Halloween. You don't necessarily have to have a spooky product, but if you sell candles and you're not talking about the fact that it's Halloween, you're going to be losing out on a potentially large audience. Just the same way as with anything, any product, anything at all could be talked about and connected to Halloween, just like it could be with any holiday whatsoever. So you cannot sit there and plan your content and take certain holidays out that are not important to you because they'll be important to your audience. Good evening to Wei, who has left me a delightful message on Twitch. Good evening. And Hashir as well. And also Ed McIntyre, who was on the show the other day. And I kind of want to talk about the fact that actually you can talk about Halloween in any way, shape, or form by kind of tying it back into Ed, because his is a really interesting one. Ed creates a podcast for Leeds United. So Leeds United, great team, Yorkshire team, so on and so forth. But could you connect them to Halloween? Of course you could. You could say, what a shocking performance, or they're probably going to be playing this weekend. There are definitely ways that you can connect what they've done back into Halloween in some way, shape, or form. So all you got to do is think about it. Could you create an image of the next game and the ball's being replaced by a pumpkin? That kind of thing. It's a really simple thing to do. All you just got to do is just think a little bit outside the box. Then Lex is is a good point from Lex. What a great filter! Remove customers who enjoy devil worship. Well, if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. Yes, to be honest, yeah, you probably don't really want devil worshippers as part of your audience, but it's not all about devil worship, though, is it? Halloween. That's the whole point, and I think people get it very confused as a holiday. But it's meant to be fun, and there's always ways of creating content, especially being as theatrical as you are, Lex. You could do all sorts of things for Halloween, I'm sure, even if it's just with the lighting and doing something like, I don't know, turning off my light. Here we go. Turn off my light. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say basically that you can't ignore holidays. Not one holiday throughout the year can you ignore for your brand, for your business, because there's always a way of creating content for it. And that piece of content could be the one that people really connect to and see, and it stands you out from everybody else. So there you have it. You should really definitely be making content for all the holidays and plan it into place so you know what you're going to be talking about in the future. Everybody knows Halloween's going to happen on the 31st of October. Everybody knows Christmas Day is on the 25th or the 24th if you're in Poland, or the 5th of January if you're in Spain. But everybody knows these holidays are going to be happening. So try and create content and think about what you're going to create for those holidays, even if they're ones that you don't necessarily celebrate. It's a lot easier than you think when you start to get into that creative process. The brain and the creative side of your brain is like a muscle. The more you work it, the more you use it, the more you think about things and how you're going to do it, the more ideas you will come up with for your brand and for your business, and you'll be able to talk about those things as you go. Okay, as always, I'm here to answer your questions. So if you've got any questions at all, hello. You all right? Okay. If you've got any questions at all, please do let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them this evening. I'm really enjoying the comments coming through from Way. I don't know why he's called that. I don't know. And also, let's have a look. Wow, he's a very upset individual, isn't he? Anyway, right. Shall we go to some of the questions that have come through? We'll answer some of those, and then if you've got any questions at all, whatever you want to ask, stick them into the comments, whatever platform you're watching on, and we'll answer those through this evening as well before my Wi-Fi cuts out completely. Okay, so first question comes in from Anna, and Anna is saying, I'm running a shoe store on Twitter and on Shopify. Okay. How do I get people to know about what it is I'm doing? Okay, you're probably on the wrong platform. Twitter's not the wrong platform. You could be posting content on Twitter, but as a shoe salesperson and a Shopify account, using Twitter is probably not the most important platform to be using. Personally, you want to be looking at Instagram, Facebook, set up a Facebook shop, which will then link back to your Instagram. Then you can link that back into your Shopify if you really want to. I would definitely be looking at Pinterest as well. If you're designing your own shoes and then selling them, you don't really get all the info there. But if that's what you're doing, then putting stuff like that on Pinterest is a really, really powerful tool. I don't know if you've ever used Pinterest, because it's just a strong tool for you to be using. It's very visual. If you are looking to buy anything, it's a very female-friendly marketplace, which is what you're looking for. And females will go, right, I want a pair of shoes. They'll like a certain pair of shoes, and they will go to Pinterest to see what else there is available out there, potentially that they could buy. Now, if you put your products on there, not only are they going to see them, but if you put your products on there with the price connected to it, then there's a much higher chance of them actually buying your product over and above going back to the ones that they originally saw and buying them. If they like what you've put out and they like what you create, you've got a really, really good chance of them actually doing that for you. So I would definitely recommend Instagram and Facebook, and Pinterest is a great place to be putting content out as well. I'm not saying Twitter is a bad place, but you kind of want to be taking part in all like the Twitter hours, which can be time consuming. They're great fun, don't get me wrong. I do a few of them myself, and there's some great people who use those particular Twitter hours and put their content out on there and start talking to people on there and create relationships. But it's not necessarily the most visual platform that there is. Definitely Instagram, definitely Pinterest, and like I say, Facebook, for the main reason that you could create a shop on Facebook on your business page and tie that back into your Instagram. So, give that a go if I were you. Okay, actually, one of the things that's just come through from Way is one of the questions that's come through as well. I would follow if you were any good, but you're bad. Thank you very much for that, Way. You're such a charming troll. But thank you for keeping commenting, because the more you comment, the more my algorithm on Twitch gets to see that people are liking my content because people are commenting on it, and it pushes it out to more people. So you keep it up. Anyway, he's all about following. I've just had a question come through from Moses. 1 second, let me just drag it up. And Moses is on Twitter, and he's asking, should I be doing follow for follow to increase my audience on platforms like Instagram? No, Moses, you should not do follow for follow. You should not do sub for sub. You should not do follow for follow on business pages on Facebook and places like that. And there are lots and lots of groups that do this kind of thing, and it's not good in any way, shape, or form. Because what happens is, and I've said this over and over again, but you might be new to it, so I'm going to go through it again. It's all well and good having thousands of subscribers, possibly hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of subscribers. That is great, but it is just a vanity metric. It is just a number on your screen. I've worked with some of the larger YouTubers who've had millions of subscribers, but the audience who comes back to watch their content is much lower than that. And the reason for that is that it just sometimes doesn't work. Follow for follow is the worst thing. No, it's wrong. It's the worst thing, Way, in the world. And I'm going to explain to you why. Please stay with me until I've explained to you why, and then you can foxtrot Oscar all you want. I don't care. But the reason follow for follow is really, really bad for any brand, any business, anybody trying to grow an audience is that number is just a vanity metric. It doesn't matter. What matters to the algorithm, what matters to the platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, what matters to those platforms is the interaction, the watch time, and all those different factors that matter to the algorithm. It doesn't care about the number of subscribers you've got. The only reason it will look at the number of subscribers you've got is to go, you've got 1 million subscribers, but only 1,500 people watched your content. That must mean your content is shit. So I, as a platform, am not going to push it out to any more of an audience. Because the fact of the matter is, and you might not know this, and most people don't know this at the start, is the platforms don't push your content out to everybody who's subscribed to you. So you might have like 6,000 people subscribe to you. That's great. It's a lovely number, but the platform will push it out to 5% of that 6,000. So it will push it out to a very, very small, minute amount of audience, 300 people. And if those 300 people don't see your content in their feed at the right time, then they will not at all push your content any further. Now, if those 300 people see it and maybe 50% of that 300 watch, then they'll go, right, okay, let's see if we push it out a bit further and a bit further and a bit further. The algorithm is looking for interaction. Just like I just said to you a minute ago, Way, is that the platform wants to see you commenting, wants to see likes, wants to see dislikes. It doesn't differentiate between a good comment or a bad comment, a good like or a bad like. It doesn't differentiate. It just sees interactions. So what you're aiming for is an audience who give a damn about the content that you're putting out in the first place. So put content out that you're passionate about, that you enjoy creating, and forget that subscriber number. That will come in time. What you're trying to do is create content you enjoy creating, so it doesn't matter if that number doesn't go skyrocketing high straight away. And also, when people watch it, they will see the passion come through the screen. They will see the enjoyment. They will actually go, well, this person not only knows what they're talking about, but they're actually passionate about it as well. They give a damn. They want to help me. They want to see me succeed. They want me to do X, Y, or Z. They are a big fan of Leeds United, just like Ed is, whatever it is. So you've got to put that effort in to grow your audience rather than follow for follow, which just really doesn't make any difference to anybody other than the algorithm just going, yeah, you've got a lot of followers, but not a lot of people interact with it. Your content's just rubbish. I'm not going to push it out to anybody whatsoever. So please don't do follow for follow, Way. If there's anything you take from this, is that you don't go off and do followtwitches.com or whatever it is. Just start creating content you care about and telling people about it who are within your niche, and they will come, they will watch, and if they get value from it, they will become an audience member and they'll care about your content and they'll share it with their audience, and your audience will grow that way rather than fake, which makes no difference to anybody, and especially not brands, because that's an argument I've had back in the past, is like, oh, well, brands will spend money with me because I've got a huge subscriber base. Not anymore. The brands are more savvy about this kind of stuff. And actually what they do is they run software against your account and see how many dead followers you've got and how many you've bought and all those kind of things. Right, let's go back through the comments here. Let's have a look, see what's coming in through here. Ross Brook, chartered accountants. This will be Chris. You stream at different times of the day. Have you noticed a better time of day for achieving an audience? Depends on the platform, actually, Chris. So I don't purposely stream at different times of day. It's kind of forced upon me, as you will know, because you've been with the stream for a long time. Mondays and Fridays, I am daddy daycare. The rest of the time, thankfully, my little lad is back in nursery now. But during the start of lockdown, it was like 7 days a week. But now 2 days a week, Mondays and the Fridays, which are 2 days that I stream, he is in daddy daycare with me. So it depends if he naps and then whatever else happens in the day. So today he napped, but he napped quite late in the day. I had other bits and pieces I had to get done. So it was kind of like, well, I have to weigh up the pros and cons. Do I do the stuff I'm going to get paid for, or do I do a live stream? So I pushed the live stream to a different time. Answering your question is, yes, I can. Like I say, it does depend on the platform. So, for example, Twitch, I've got a bunch of people watching on Twitch right now. We've got our delightful Way, who's still at it. There he is. I mean, come on. Our delightful Way, who's still trolling away there on the screen. And I've got a bunch of other people on Twitch as well. Now, when I go live earlier in the day, there's a lot less people watch on Twitch. But I get more people during the day on Twitter and on YouTube, and definitely on LinkedIn as well. Facebook kind of stays the same no matter what time of the day I'm streaming. I think if I stuck to a schedule and stuck to a specific time at every single day that I went live, I think that would make a huge difference. Unfortunately, I'm just not in that position to be able to do that. But Wednesdays are sticking to midday for as long as I possibly can do. So every Wednesday I am still live at midday GMT. So yeah, it's an interesting question, Chris, and yeah, it's definitely one worth doing some testing for yourself. If you're ever going to go live, when is your audience likely to be online? I think for yourselves as a business, it depends on who you're trying to hit. If you're trying to hit the larger clients, potentially look at doing stuff during the day and making a big deal out of it as a webinar, seminar, whatever. If you're looking for the smaller clients, a small business client, someone like myself or other small businesses, then maybe what you want to be doing is looking at the fact that they'll be on in an evening, when they're likely to be on, when the little one's in bed, and that they're able to do that kind of content. So then you could do something in an evening for them, perhaps maybe a shorter version or a replay or something like that. But hopefully that helps, Chris. It's a difficult question to answer because yes and no. Like right now, I don't have more people overall watching the stream than I would do if I went live at midday. Let's have a look. So Way is still at it. Ed McIntyre, kill trolls with kindness. We'll take that on board. Absolutely. I've tried to help Way as best as I possibly can do. I'm sure he's a lovely person or she's a lovely person. I have no idea which way they are. They might be non-binary. I don't know. But I'm sure they're a lovely person deep down. They're just having a really bad day. Anyway, right, I am going to disappear. No more questions have come through. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to shoot off. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you're brand new, this is you, Way. Please do subscribe. That would be really cool. Then you'll never miss out on any of my amazing content that you so obviously love because you've commented about 50 times so far, which is amazing. So yeah, that would be great if you could hit the subscribe button. Whatever platform you're watching on, leave some comments as well. If you're watching the replay at the moment or listening to the podcast, don't forget you can email me as well. Drop me an email. My email details are in the section below, and you can drop me an email and ask me some questions as well that way, and then we can move those questions into the next live piece of content. Let's just have one last quick look. Oh, here we go. Ed McIntyre, he just needs to experiment with times and see what works. I find that post-match review live streams immediately after Leeds game is a great time for me, 100%, because it's when people are going to be talking. It's why I can't even remember the name of the show, but 5 Live, they have the straight after the full-time scores come out, they have the show where people ring in and talk about the matches and all that kind of stuff. They work amazingly. George Benson, who obviously I know Ed and I used to work with, he creates the 6 things he learned when he's watched a Chelsea match, and he puts that content out as quickly as he possibly can do after the games have been played. Even though he's over in Bali, that content performs amazingly for him. People want to be able to dive in and debate with other Chelsea fans, with other Leeds fans, with other Liverpool fans, whatever the content's about, whatever the team's about. They want to dive in and comment about that stuff. So absolutely, that would work absolutely amazingly for you, Ed. And I completely agree. So it is about, it's what's called A/B testing. It's about doing a bit of testing and seeing which time of the day works better for you and understanding which audience you definitely want to be hitting. So I wouldn't necessarily always want to hit the Twitch audience, not necessarily because it's full of trolls, but just generally my audience isn't there. The people watching that content, I put it out there because I can, but not because that's where my audience is. So yeah. Anyway, right, I am going now. Thank you very much for watching. If you are brand new to these streams, as I say, hit the subscribe button. But until Wednesday, I do apologize for this mishmash, but on Wednesday, I'm going to be chatting to Adam Parr, who is a really interesting guy. He's a certified coach. And we're going to have a chat through what that means, what he does with coaching, all that kind of stuff. And he's got a really great podcast as well, which I've been on in the past. So we're going to have a chat with him on Wednesday at midday. So make sure you come and join us then, or at least potentially hit the notification button so you get told when it's been done, and then you can watch it on replay instead. But until then, thanks for watching. Please do continue to stay safe. I know it's weird times at the moment. And if you're in Wales, stay mega safe. Anyway, until then, have a